No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, whether you are rich or you're poor, or you are single or married, or you are man or woman, life happens.
That's right.
And nothing is ever the same. Change is constant. The same way as our feelings and the same way as our situations, the same way as what we go through. So for you to believe that once you get married, your life is set, you're constantly happy. I don't know who said that?
Some of these myths come from escapism. Sometimes unconsciously you escape into a fantasy.
If you wake up and even though it's miserable, you realize that you'd rather go through that misery with the same person rather than have it good with someone else, then that's when you know you're doing something right. If you have the problems and you have this feeling inside of you that it's chaotic, it's problematic in a way, not caused by that person, maybe caused by the person, but you rather have this person's help in solving that problem than anybody else, then you know you're doing something right.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
Welcome to Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.
Welcome to the Besty and Smoke podcast. How are you doing today? Hopefully you are doing quite well. Because when you're happy, we're happy. And I'm not here, never here alone. I've got my co-host, the B in the BS.
Yes, welcome to the Besty and Smoke podcast. Of course, when you're happy, we are happy. But if you're not happy, you might as well let us know, anytime. My name is Besty and that's Smokey the chokehold. When was the last time you heard someone call you the chokehold? Like you got them choking back in the day.
It seems like a lot of history now.
Yeah, but sometimes...
Like something from a past life.
Oh, come on. It wasn't a long time ago.
Yeah, it was just early this year.
Yeah, but it feels like years ago.
How time flies, right?
Yeah, when you're having fun.
Or when you're not.
Oh, come on, but you're having fun.
Yeah,
I am. You're better off. What do
Yeah.
you mean?
I am really. I'm having a good time. I'm having a time that's rewarding and that has prospect. I can do my own thing now. I can.
You can be.
I can. Yeah, I can do. I have options now.
This is actually. I feel like you can do what you've always done, but now you get credits for it.
And it's even beyond that.
It's fresh.
Has more challenge to it. I have the time to run my own thing.
Take care of yourself and be you.
Yeah, do other things and potentially make money on the side. Not that there wasn't money to be made on the side before, but I never had the time to do that, to explore all of that because I was caught up in the moment of wanting to serve, wanting to bring value.
Your calling.
Yeah, my almighty calling.
Wow. Okay, you said it, not me, because I didn't want to be like, in quote, your calling. But
yeah, my almighty calling that was almost the death of me. So I feel happier now. I feel less burnout. I feel like I have more space to explore. I don't really know about fulfillment because I think it's a journey. Okay, but I feel like I will be fulfilled in the long run. But what's happening right now has prospect to it. It's more challenging. The learning curve is
amazing.
Yeah, I was going to say the learning curve is steep.
At the same time, it's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is. That challenging feeling. And
the thing about this is the fact that you knew what you were capable of doing, but getting pushed beyond your capacity every single time, and you find yourself thriving above that. It's one heck of a feeling I wouldn't give away for anything.
You know that song by Faith Evans? Again, I wouldn't take away the pain because it's really made me who I am.
I think I know the song.
Yeah, I wouldn't take away the pain. I wouldn't take away the rain. I mean, every single thing I went through in my past life was preparing me for this moment right here. So if it hadn't happened,
you wouldn't be where
I
you are
wouldn't
today.
have the capacity to deal with
it's the journey.
what I have right now.
It's the journey. You can't take away the pain because the pain actually brought the joy.
Yeah. So if I should do this again, like Faith Evans,
same.
I would go through the same pain again. Sometimes this sounds too philosophical to be true, but it's actually a fact
It's
that
like childbirth,
that
the process of it.
I went through so much pain that I was literally writing on the floor with it. But I would still go through that same pain again
over
to
again.
have
What you have
the
now.
capacity that I have now. It's a huge feeling, man.
I feel the same way. Not that I feel your pain, but I do feel that you
You
can't
feel
take,
your own particular
yes,
pain,
yes, but at the same time,
which is a brand of my pain as well.
why you gonna make this about yourself?
No.
We have our own stories. You have your story, I have my story.
Okay, yeah.
The thing that is, I'm saying that we have to learn to take the joy and accept the pain. And the
It's a
thing that,
package
yeah,
deal.
it's a package deal. The thing that is, we appreciate the joy so much because we know what pain feels like. If you don't know of pain, you wouldn't appreciate joy.
That's
Imagine not having value in stuff.
You're beginning to sound like me.
You rub off, honey. You rub off, honey. Now, talking about stuff doing on the side, us podcast again.
Yeah.
This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.
So, what the heck are we talking about today?
Okay, so we are talking about pre-marriage myths.
What couples
I
wish
think
they knew before
yes,
marriage?
before they got married.
hmm
I'm sorry, I'm about to go to you right now. Tell me.
No.
No, you got to.
No. Okay.
You got to, man. You got to.
tell
Because
you.
knowing you, I know you had this image, this stuff in your head, you know, because you always, you're all about the pictures, honey. You always think of how things will be, how things are supposed to be, expectations, yada, 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 which I'm not saying is a bad thing, good thing. Okay, you need to plan your life.
Why are you excited about asking me this question?
Because I feel like
Because you always use the podcast to set me up. You always You always use the podcast to ask me questions.
No. Okay, not this. We actually have points to discuss about this because we have a list of things. Okay.
So I was wondering
But
why you're jumping so far ahead.
I want to get into it because I feel like yours is going to be juicier than the list. So give it a
What
me.
exactly are you asking for?
I want to know your pre-marriage myths, like those stuff you thought like marriage would actually do for you or the expectations you had.
Funny thing is that I wasn't really one for expectations.
Okay.
Right? I was a typical dude with a typical picture of
Don't hit me like that, please.
a typical picture of domestication.
Don't tell me you're the realistic guy.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if this is being realistic, but I always envisaged a wife and husband and the children, a comfortable home, a comfortable life. Nothing else. Nothing
about marriage doing this
for me. No, not exactly.
Never thought of marriage providing companion?
I've always been self-sufficient when it comes to...
No, in terms of marriage, yes, self-sufficiency, of course. Being self-sufficient is a good thing, but marriage is like that.
You wouldn't take my answer until you poke it full of holes.
Okay, I give in.
So what about you?
Well, the same with you. I'm very realistic. I wasn't expecting nothing.
Okay.
I was just, marriage was never like something I look forward to get something out of it. Since none of us had any expectations or any pre-marriage.
But I know about myths though, but not my myth.
Okay.
Yeah.
See. You know about myths though, but not yours.
Yeah.
Just general.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they were trying to egg me on, get married. So the one myth that drove me crazy
in a good way, or
that
crazy
still drives me against the wall.
Hold on, let me get this. Is it the crazy that when you realize it was a
look
lie?
Look at my expression and you would know that it drove me up the wall.
Was it like it drove you crazy after you realized that it was a lie?
While it was happening, while the lie was happening. Now, a myth is a popularly held belief or opinion that is false.
That's not true.
So something that everybody holds that they believe it, but it's actually a lie. So that's what a myth is.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the myth that I hated so much or that drove me bananas was the myth that children raise themselves. I'll feel like screaming like
so I think the myth that children raise themselves, that's a huge lie. Whoever says that, you're trying to console
The people
yourself.
say that all the time.
This always comes from someone who doesn't have much and believes that bringing kids into this world will, they will sort themselves out. But I think sometimes that opinion came from a place of you give birth today, you're still struggling before you know it, the child is grown. That's why you try to console yourself by saying that kids raise themselves. That's how are they going to do that?
This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.
What's on our talking point today?
Okay, we have a lot, about 6 to share today. And the first is the happily ever after. Second, marriage solves all problems. Third, communication is easy. Fourth, marriage brings financial prosperity. Okay. And the fifth is marriage will change you. And the last, that marriage is an achievement.
Okay.
That's the sixth one.
That's for
Marriage being an achievement.
Marriage is an achievement. You know who? You know the people that feel like marriage is an achievement. When they are dancing on the wedding day.
When I do it, I'm coming from a place of I know it. You know the Ashebis. You have to. How many people have you gone to Ashebi for? But have you done your own? Anyways, let's get into it.
This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.
So, pre-marriage myths. Opinions that people hold to be true that are absolutely false. Number one is what?
Happily ever
Happily ever. Mother loving
Cinderella
after.
story.
The Cinderella story. Like,
happily ever after. It's all kumbaya.
yeah, marriage assures you of bliss. That you have the assurance of bliss when you get married. That it's so glorious.
We need to learn that life, no matter
Happens.
no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, whether you are rich or you're poor, or you are single or married, or you are man or woman, life happens.
That's right.
And nothing is ever the same. Change is constant. The same way as our feelings and the same way as our situations, the same way as what we go through. So for you to believe that once you get married, your life is set, you're constantly happy. I don't know who said that.
I think it's Hollywood, and they lived happily ever after. So now a lot of young women, after watching the Cinderella movies, that type of a happily ever after promise, they go into their lives with that Eduardo mentality,
Te amo.
Yeah, te amo.
I love you so much. Every day you're supposed to tell me I love you too.
My love. If you want to know how ridiculous telenovelas sound, or how ridiculous they actually are, when someone is watching it,
you're not watching it.
Just listen to just listen to it. Oh yes. But I told you, my love. I can never do that to you, my love. Oh my love.
Stop.
Every sentence has a my love in it.
That is spot on. It's like,
but of course, my love.
But seriously speaking, it's funny to not know that marriage sometimes comes, if not most times, comes with its challenges.
But movies and pop culture,
they don't portray that.
Romanticized.
They don't portray that. They make things what they're not. I think there was this interview I was watching. That was Obama, Michelle Obama. She said that before she got married, there was this idea she had about, what their marriage was going to be like. And finally, when they were married, she realized that this man actually had a career that was challenging, and even
as she was going to be in the storm, in the eye of his storm.
And at that moment, it was something that should be prioritized compared to hers, and she had to take a back seat. That there were periods she hated, resented. Okay, not this man per se, but what the
life he has around him has
and
done
to her own life. Not just when he became famous, but when he was still trying to build himself. Her having to take care of the babies and stuff like that. She was like, what people don't tell you in marriage is that sometimes you don't even like your partner, but you love them.
Yeah.
When they call you, you up and you run to them. But that doesn't mean you like being
Because there's a difference between liking someone.
Yes, and loving someone. But there are days that you actually wake up and you realize that if it's going to be miserable, there is nobody else you'd rather be miserable with than this person. That's what they don't tell you. So as long as you wake up the days that you realize, oh, this is not good, but you rather have that not good with this person than any other person, that you know you are doing something, then you know that it's not just awful. There are days that are good and there are days that are bad, and that's life. And that was
Absolutely.
Like, wow, for me.
That's life. So it's not always happily ever after. There are challenges, life happens, right? You get smacked in the face with it.
Yeah.
And you wake up one day and you're wondering what the heck happened to your life.
And the worst mistake you could make is to compare others with yours. It's the same as that you expect Nollywood or Hollywood. You expect that in yours. Your case and other people's case, absolutely different. So you should not compare or be filled with expectations because of...
Manage your expectations. So,
yeah.
The number one myth that about to be married people or people who are not married, single people have about marriage is that you have a happily ever after life. You don't. The only thing that's constant in life is change.
Absolutely.
And you're going to have your ups and your downs and the sideways as well.
Yeah.
The days when you wake up and it feels like the world is turning on its head, and you just have to live it.
Sometimes you ask yourself, well, am I even doing this?
This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.
The second one being...
Marriage solves all problems.
Marriage solves all your problems.
Did he solve yours?
That's another lie. Marriage doesn't solve your problems.
Is it safe to say that marriage creates more problems?
As a matter of fact, marriage doesn't necessarily create more problems.
It
creates the space for more problems.
For extra problems, not problems like bad problems.
But do you know the funny thing about these problems is that these problems are mixed blessings. Okay, they hurt you and they mend you.
It's like what I said earlier about what Michelle said. If you wake up and even though it's miserable, you realize that you rather go through that misery with the same person rather than have it good with someone else, then that's when you know you're doing something right. If you have the problems and you have this feeling inside of you that it's chaotic, it's problematic in a way, not caused by that person, maybe caused by the person, but you rather have this person's help in solving that problem than anybody else, then you know you're doing something right.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
Am I now the horse? I'm not the horse.
Yeah.
When did I become?
Nah, you know.
I'll vex for you now. That's not how I laugh.
No. It's not the laughter. It's the horse neighing. You know, the noise horses make.
But it came in where it shouldn't. I said, am I now the horse? I now said yes. Like you're trying to say I'm the horse because of the way I laugh.
The way horses.
I know the way horses. What the sound they make, I know.
So why are you making this?
You're making this
a
like
problem.
I'm a horse.
What?
Am I a horse?
Do you feel like a horse?
This is when they say, "Are you mad?" And they say, "Do you feel like you're mad?" I know what you're doing. No, well, of course I.
So marriage doesn't solve all your problems.
It doesn't.
Okay? It creates more problems. More problems. More problems.
Don't go there.
What?
You're not trying to say, see it. You see it. You just created one problem. I feel like that's what you wanted to do.
No.
That was what you did like this. Creates
I did?
more problem. You did.
I'm not gaslighting you.
You are.
I did no such thing.
I can see when you're gaslighting me in your eyes. There's this like mischief.
I'm not.
This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.
So what's the third one?
The third one, communication is easy.
You know,
Who came up with this?
I understand how this is a myth, right? Because when you are in a relationship, right, you feel like
the miscommunication is because you guys are not there yet.
Yeah.
You know, when you guys
there are so many things you feel like marriage is going to eventually solve.
when you guys get married, he's going to understand
this
you
is
so
happening.
well.
This is happening
He's going
because
to read your mind.
because we're not married. So
Yeah.
I believe that marriage is going to solve this problem.
You know?
Marriage is going to make this go away. Marriage is going to fix
Wait,
this.
don't go there. Don't go there. There's the one that will actually like drop it like it's hot. That you now be like, who wrote this?
Okay.
Hold on. Just let's focus on the communication part.
Yeah. You know, I think communication is more difficult when you're married. Why? Because especially if you're a man, okay, women have this way of wanting you to tell them stuff, but not wanting you to tell them. So you have to keep thinking in your head, how do I present this? How do I say what I actually mean, but mean something else? Mm-hmm. How do I navigate the complexities of communicating with a woman that you do not want to hurt by being honest? And this is not something that's personal to some women. So a lot of women have sworn by everything that is sacred that they are not like that, but they are absolutely like that.
So we're talking about communication right now.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to tell a woman the truth.
Not just to tell a woman the truth, because communication goes both ways. Okay, you can't, because my mom used to say that you can't, because you can't use you being rude as an excuse to hurt people's, being a straight shooter as an excuse to hurt people's feelings. Like you are rude. That's not. So
it has nothing to do with being rude.
No. It has nothing. See, there's this idea.
It has everything to do with
idea that we actually put in effort when we are dealing with someone who is not our spouse. Like you don't mind lying to a colleague just to make them feel good. You don't mind, which at the end it doesn't really matter for you, because it's just a small conversation you have with them. Yeah. But when it comes to our spouse, we tend to not really put in effort to sugarcoat or, be understanding with how we talk to them.
It was here.
That's how it should be.
It was here, right? That I talked about how I didn't know how to speak to you about your weight, right? And I had to keep tiptoeing around the subject matter. Like every single time I wanted to talk about it, I would end up having palpitations. Like, I'll be frustrated and angry because I couldn't say what I actually wanted to say.
But that's exactly
why. Because I was trying to not hurt your feelings.
It mattered to you. Okay, I matter to you.
So now, at the end of the day, the communication would not happen.
The communication would not happen in a way that you didn't want it to happen, because you were struggling with communicating with me in a way that puts in consideration my feelings. Let's say when you speak to a man who, I'm trying to look for something else, who maybe he has an issue with whatever. They say you don't tell a man this, come on, consider the man's ego. That's not how to talk to, that's not how to speak to a man. So that's what I'm saying, that sometimes it goes both ways.
It does not.
It goes both ways. No, I'm saying this. It goes both ways.
Look, the respect that goes to a man. The respect that goes to a man, all right, is a constant thing. That's the only thing that a man wants.
To you, it's respect.
But women, they don't want all kinds of things at different times.
That's okay. Well, that's it. If see, the respect is it for the man. For the woman is something else. So why isn't that respect equivalent to what the man wants? It's about.
You always know that the man, it's respect. But for the woman, okay, supposing a woman, you prepare a meal that's not all that, okay? And you present the food to me and I really hate it. I can't tell you that.
You really hate it?
Yeah, I really hate the food.
You really hate the food?
I don't like it.
You really hate the food, you don't like it, and you can't tell me that?
Yeah.
Are you saying that you can't tell me that, or the man can't tell the woman that?
I cannot tell you that. So, you see, just talking about that here.
No.
It's making her think, do I hate her food?
No, I know that that's not what it makes. I was not thinking, you say you can't tell me that you don't like my food. And
you're thinking all the time.
How many times you've told me you don't like my food? Like, what happened that time?
Wait, when have I told you I don't like your food? When now? Just give me one time.
Don't worry, this will prolong. Let's just carry this conversation out of here. So I will list it tably for you. Hold on, I'll play cassette.
So I don't hold back.
You don't hold back. You don't hold back.
No, now.
You don't hold back. Even that
you.
sometimes when I finish cooking, I'll come to you. You even said it to me one time. Why is it I'm always looking for praises when I cook? I'm like, no, because I don't want to. Okay, let me don't.
You see what I'm saying?
No, because you've complained previously. Not that my food is bad.
No. Look at the only thing I would say is that it needs a little bit more salt.
Yes.
That's all.
But why should you even say? It's good for your health.
If I should ask for more salt, that's indicative of me not liking the soup. And what that says is if I'm going to ask for salt, I probably should just go get the salt myself.
Joe, go steal it. Don't let me see you.
You see what I'm talking about?
Don't let me see you. No, you're trying to say that.
So we cannot communicate.
That's just minor stuff. Now we're talking about deep stuff. Like
now, remember on the podcast here.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 episodes ago. When we were talking about extended family thing, and I got sideways real quick. I felt like I would never go near extended family topics. Okay, now that was on the podcast. Now imagine in real life. So there's going to always be that subject matter, that topic for a couple. That's going
rattles,
that's going to rattle everybody up. For some people it might be money, for some people it might
family.
be relationships, for some other people it could be fidelity and infidelity. So there's always that one theme.
Just altogether communication is not easy.
That you find it difficult to talk about. Like every time you want to raise the subject matter, you have to think long and deep, looking for an opening
and how to phrase the question or phrase the conversation.
Communication is never easy. Why? Because you're trying to always honor the person. You're trying to be considerate of their feelings.
Yes, you are.
You're trying to not hurt them because you could be blunt and say it anyhow.
That could be piercing.
Yeah, and that would be destructive instead of being constructive. So you're always looking for a constructive, and because of that, it's a tad bit difficult.
Yeah, even when you're trying to have healthy communication, because there's unhealthy communication and healthy communication. Even when you're trying to have a healthy communication, to phrase whatever or to find a way to have the conversation, you find yourself struggling.
Yeah.
And to you, that wouldn't be an easy communication.
And that's not ideal for you.
Yeah, it's not ideal for you.
And when you talk about healthy and unhealthy communication, now, some people have gotten into the habit of communicating in an unhealthy way.
Yeah.
And that's become their go-to mode for communicating.
You pile it up till you're angry. And now there's an exchange of words and everything. It just then you guys are not talking about things you should have actually sat down, respectfully speak to each other about. Now that's not really communication.
I actually know couples who their communication is tossed at one another. Like, so these children, they send them from school yesterday. So we're going to need to pay the school fees.
They lack respect for each other now.
It's tossed around.
That's not how they started, I bet you. It's something that it got to a point that's their relationship now.
Is fractured.
Yeah, so it's not, they no longer care. Maybe they care per se that if something if harm comes this person's way, I'll be angry or stuff. But
that's something that, that toxic family life, it's more prevalent than you know.
How?
You need to look around. I feel like 50% of homes.
That's how they communicate.
That's how couples communicate.
There's this man.
They send these children from school. Say make this bring school fees.
Like agogo kwamge.
Yeah, I've told you.
Yeah. this man was saying that marriage, just give it 2-3 years. He was talking to somebody about this new couple. They say, they're just newly married, Say, how many? He said, just 2 years. Say, just give them 5 years. They will change from a maonya, no more like that. That was the goal, that they would get there.
Yeah.
So this couple now, they're starting, they will still come to where
the honeymoon period.
Yeah,
is
so
still
I was like, that's not good.
The African life, the Nigerian life is hard.
Yeah.
Okay. And there isn't much space for softness. Our default mode is being hard on ourselves and hard on people around us. And most times we take out our frustrations on people who are closest to us.
Yeah.
So what that does is it splinters relationships.
Yeah.
And that becomes a normal. So that cultural reality, I think it's something that we have to break free from, but it's going to take a generational acknowledgement of the dysfunction itself.
So we have to first of all see that as a problem.
Have to see that
and
this is a problem.
It's not being seen right now as a problem.
Yeah, it's not been acknowledged as
a problem.
Yeah, as a problem. Children get raised in this environment and they become
that as an adult.
Yeah, as adults, and that's what they know.
Yeah, because you give what you have, and that's the relationship they've.
Some of these myths as well. Okay,
witnessed.
Yeah, that's what they witnessed growing up, and that's what they are not going to manifest.
Isn't there a way that, I don't know, is it like rehabilitation, or what can we do? Are going to
conduct mass rehabilitation of the entire African? Because I think this goes beyond Nigeria. But remember when people on social media, on Twitter, on X, were talking about toxic parents, #toxic parents, and everybody was coming out with their stories of the toxicity
and you realize,
that they received,
and then they didn't know it was toxic. Toxic, but
they didn't know that it was toxic at the time, right? We felt it just was normal.
It's normal, yeah, because it was common.
Yeah.
We felt it was normal because it was common. Because the same story you have or you had, okay, that's the same story. The man, your classmate, your friends,
your cousins,
your cousins. So
your neighbors.
It was common.
I mean, what's happening in your house is happening in your neighbor's house. That's your reality.
Yeah, I do remember that time there was this incident, and we came out and was like, it was like it's now their turn in their house to receive. So it's something you guys
so there was a fight, and the wife was being
no, the kids. The kids. The kids.
Let me tell you a story. A story I would never forget. I think it's also part of what made me who I am. And I think part of something that I wouldn't give up. Take away the pain, yeah. Even though you might consider it as toxic. But we have a special brand of toxicity in Africa. And we normalize it like I'm probably doing right now.
I'm sorry, but there was this guy.
In fact, I have many stories.
Yes, you do, but you would definitely share, because I want to hear, because I've heard few that got me rolling. That I realized, wow. But there's this guy, he's a British guy. Say when he came to London, he was telling his friend about what his dad did and blah 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 blah. The guy was looking like, he now said, "You need to go see a therapist." I was like, no.
Like, what the heck? We're Africans, man.
Like, if it was him, then he would be traumatized.
This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS. Okay, so the point is communication is never easy, whether it's healthy communication or unhealthy communication, because healthy communication requires you thinking about it, trying to consider the other person's feelings and how they're going to misinterpret, because one thing is saying something, another thing is how it's received, how it's, interpreted. So you have to factor all of that. So
that's why it's difficult for men to communicate.
Why is he making it a gender thing now?
But it is.
But no, and it's also a bad thing. It's also a bad thing for you not to communicate. How would one know what you're thinking? If you don't communicate, if you shut off, almost like you don't care. And when you don't care, I'm not a mind reader. I can't know what you're thinking. I don't know what displeases you. So you have to talk. So while you talk, the same way I have to like...
You know, when you're saying this, something just came to my... The picture just flashed in my head. This man and his wife always going at it. When I was a kid, they would always go at it. Like the man would be this end and they will be exchanging like, oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
And this happened like quite a lot.
It's like,
like all over the place. And when we were talking about how your reality when you were growing up, I mean, literally everybody in the neighborhood
saw that
was like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like husbands never held back.
That was not the same in your home.
Yeah, my mom and my dad, they had their misunderstandings.
Yeah, but that was not, it did not get to the point of...
But it never escalated. It had its moments of escalation, if I have to be honest.
But you know, this is what they say when they go low. You dig a hole beneath them. That's exactly what that's like.
We see couples going at it was virtually like, and then sometimes when you have a huge family at homes where the grandma is there, that's the mother-in-law of the wife, like a friend of mine, the mother is there, the father, the parents are there, the dad's mom is there. And the dad's mom and the mother, that's the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law, they never saw eye to eye.
Oh God.
So it was every day comes. The mother-in-law will be over here and the daughter-in-law will be over there and they'll be tossing the words, and the children are caught in the middle. Now they have to have a relationship with their grandma.
Of course they
and
have
also
to.
with their, So basically some of these myths as well, okay, they come from escapism. You want to escape the toxicity you experience.
That hides its head in
the sand.
So that's like hiding your head in the sand because you want to escape.
Yeah, so because you've had a bad experience growing up, sometimes unconsciously you escape into Hollywood. You want to believe in that into Nollywood. You hold on to a fantasy.
Even though you should know better.
And you want that fantasy, which is an entirely different reality from the experience you had.
You know,
the thing about toxic upbringing and traumatic experiences is that they suck you into them.
Yeah.
It's difficult to escape. You become the person you are born.
While you were talking about toxicity, I was thinking of something just occurred to me. I'm going to use myself as an example. Growing up, I never saw my mom and dad fight. I never did. They fought, of course they did. As an adult, that's when I got to learn that most of this stuff where, like they were mumbling that, this was actually them fighting. My mom did so well to hide it. Like, it's still that Hollywood.
Your mom was a peacemaker.
To a fault. To a fault. You know that.
Not every woman is like that.
I'm not half of the woman.
So some women just want to set it on fire.
Yeah. But, so growing up, I thought that was it. The first time I witnessed, an uncle and the wife at it. And we came back for the holiday, and my mom was like, when we came, so it was like panning, like trying to, chase us away. So it was like, what were they doing? But I think growing up, I got to realize I should have seen some of that action a bit in life. So no,
you missed the action.
My head was filled with.
You know this song by Britney Spears?
What's the song?
Overprotected.
How come you remember the song?
Overprotected. So. Some people have a shielded childhood.
This kind of stuff.
When
the same Hollywood situation, when it's not because they're trying to escape, but because that's actually what they have known and they now expect that.
There's this intoxication that Hollywood has, that fantasy brings. You have a taste of it, the beauty of it, the romanticism of it, and you just want it to be real.
Yeah. But so if it's not real, what should someone do?
Either it's escapism or holding on to something you wanted so much, addicted to it, that you want it to be real, it has the same effect. It makes you have expectations for things that are not always there. And what that does is it breeds frustration when you eventually get in there. And we cannot talk about all of this.
Yeah.
We have
so all of them boil down to pain and joy. You have to know that it's not what all
I think we probably have to continue.
Yeah, on the next one.
On the next one.
3 more to go. But trust me, you wouldn't want to miss the rest. You wouldn't want to.
So that's it. Thank you very much for always hanging with us. You know, the thing to do, always follow on our social channels. Besty and Smoke podcast, the BS podcast.
Absolutely.
And we're going to be here again. Before we jump off, do remember that sometimes reality is the best reality you can get.
Yes, reality you're living. On that note,
we'll be here again on the next one. Till then,
ciao.
This is Besty and Smoke podcast.
Talking the BS.